Hey everyone. Hey everyone. That was so funny. Hey everyone. Thank you so much for that introduction, Cha Cha. That's amazing because if I didn't start trading because you kept talking about it and essentially was just like, no, do this, I would not be here. So I'm so thankful. Thank you for that. I hope everyone is well. My intentions is definitely to just tell y'all what I know. I'm by no means an expert, but something has been working. Something has definitely been working. So I definitely want everyone else to also experience like clearing those trades because in this month of March, like just collectively in general, even with the other forex trades that people been calling, is like it's been a lot of money that's been made. So I'm definitely happy about that. And then specifically for me personally, I've made a lot of money trading Bitcoin this month. Well, the month of March, from literally investing maybe less than $5 because with Bitcoin is like you're taking smaller risks anyway because of the lot sizes. So I'm just saying it's been a lot of money that's been made. So I definitely just at some point just wanted to make sure that everyone was had the ability to get into these trades so that you could make money too. And everybody in the chat is like, because everybody made money, you know? So, all right. So pretty much, yeah.
Bitcoin coiners.
With my trading history, I've been trading now for two years. And
Give me her strategy so I can make a hit on
Go ahead, both
Bitcoin.
people.
oh, TJ, you're not okay. So pretty much, I've been trading for 2 years now, and I've been trading Bitcoin specifically like almost every single day because, as y'all know, like with Bitcoin, you could trade that 24/7. So I've been trading Bitcoin literally like every single day. If I don't trade Bitcoin, it's probably because I'm not looking at my phone, but there's an active trade that's going, or I'm doing something else. Or when me and Cha Cha are together, like we don't even trade like that. You know what I'm saying? We just be chilling. So for the most part, yeah, I've been trading now for bit since even since back in like in Juneteenth last year. I remember I was like trading Bitcoin heavy. So I've been looking at the chart for a while now, and I've been analyzing it over the course of time. And so that also has helped as far as with me trading Bitcoins because I've just been looking at it every day. Like no one told me to do it. Like if y'all can remember back in a previous time in the past, in a previous chat, a lot of those trades there were forex trades. They weren't really Bitcoin trades, or they would come from a previous organization. And they would just send trades, and it's like you never knew if they were reliable or not. But I can definitely say because I've been looking at this chart for months now, is like the entry points that I have marked have been very reliable, like very reliable. So for the most part, we just want to take it back to the beginning. I put some notes here about like what Bitcoin is exactly, and it's a decentralized digital currency. Okay, that's literally what I could think of at its core, and it was created by software. So that's actually pretty cool that somebody wrote code for Bitcoin, and you can actually buy and sell your Bitcoin. You can buy things with your Bitcoin. So it's actually pretty nice. So pretty much like over time it's becoming more of a viable like source of income. And especially during March, like if somebody told me 2 years ago that I would have made $500 in March from investing $5, if they told me that like years ago, I would just like trading Bitcoin. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I remember when I first was asking Cha Cha about Bitcoin, I was like, what is Bitcoin? Because at that time, it was like a social media trend and people was like, Bitcoin rich. So I would just be like, what is that? Like, so I definitely am surprised that that even happened. So Bitcoin is nice like that. But for the most part, I like the fact that you can send Bitcoin anywhere. I also like the fact that it's private, so you use your address and it's not traceable. And you also don't need a bank account to buy and sell Bitcoin. Like I use Cashapp to buy Bitcoin and to send it to KOT. So I use Cashapp, and then I also withdraw through Cashapp also. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, for the most part, you can see that there's an emergence of Bitcoin everywhere with like the ATMs and Bitcoin being on Cash App and stuff like that. And basically any other thing you could think about that has something to do with Bitcoin. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, I do have a note here about the bank as well. So it's not controlled by any bank or government, which is pretty nice. But that still does not mean that the bank cannot trade Bitcoin, because they do. And they definitely affect like price action and stuff like that. So that's something that I've noticed as well. When I see those really big candles, really big candles, and it's like, especially if I'm looking for a buy and then the candle sells and it sells like 300 plus pips in 3 minutes, it's like, that's not regular, human being activity. Okay, it's not regular human being activity. I feel like it's the bank. But anyway, so when you're trading Bitcoin on MT4, it's a couple different things that you definitely want to keep in mind. And the first thing you want to keep in mind are the lot sizes, but this isn't in any particular order. You just want to keep in mind the lot sizes, the best times to trade Bitcoin, assets that also mirror Bitcoin's market, and then also setting risk parameters. If there's anything else that I missed that you think about, you can always also put that in the chat as well, because this just came from my mind, from my previous experience of trading Bitcoin. I didn't go research any of this stuff. It's just from me. So here's some things that I keep in mind when I trade Bitcoin on MT4. And the first thing is definitely lot sizes. And the lot sizes for Bitcoin are different. Oh, I'm sorry. Just going back. I keep in mind lot sizes, the best times to trade Bitcoin, assets that mirror Bitcoin's market. That was something I also found out. It was an aha moment, and I love that. I love to have trading aha moments. And then also the last one was setting risk parameters. And you're welcome. So lot sizes are important to keep in mind because the Bitcoin lot sizes are different from the traditional Forex pair lot sizes. And there's other cryptocurrencies that have different lot sizes also. Like I remember when I first started trading, I just wanted to try trading, I guess it's Dogecoin, or some people say Dogecoin. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So for the most part, that lot size was different. Like that lot size was really different. So like I remember I invested half a penny, and it's like, how do you invest half a penny? And I made $25. So it's just that lot size was definitely different. But for the most part, yeah, Bitcoin lot sizes are different from traditional Forex pairs. So 0.1, that's 1 cent. Sorry, y'all. Let me make sure I'm right. 0.01, I think, is 1 cent. Yeah. 0.01 would be 1 cent. Okay. And then 0.10 is 10 cents. Thank you for putting it in the chat. 1.00 is $1. And then 10.00 is $10. So it's like if you were to look at money, okay, for example, $1.25, 1.25, and you put that into a Bitcoin trade, that means that for every pip, you would be getting or losing $1.25. So it's exactly as it is, like as Chacha is putting it in the chat. That's exactly how it looks like. It's not like Forex. It's not at all. And that's the thing I like about Bitcoin, is that you can trade 1 cent per pip. You can trade 2 cents per pip. And that's important. Like, it's very important to understand that risk with Bitcoin, because you could be in for a buy and the market could sell, but if you have a low enough lot size or risk, is like you could really hold that trade until it goes on the up and up again. And like, that's actually really nice, because sometimes you do have to hold your trades. Well, I'm not afraid to hold them, but it does help, and you'll not be salty if you don't have enough money in your account size. The market sells, and you end up getting stopped out or you blow your account just for the market to turn around and buy again, you gonna feel some type of way, right? So it's best to just use a low like lot size for risk and whatnot. So I know that I could have used a higher lot size, but really the highest lot size that I used in March was like 0.05. So that's 5 cents per pip. That's the lowest lot size. And it's like I just imagine if I would have used a $2 lot size, a $5 lot size, and took the same trades, it would just be an exponential difference. But it's good to know how to do it with the low lot size because now you actually know how to trade. You know what I'm saying? And you're not just getting lucky. So um yeah, so last week I actually held a trade for 2 days. And it was definitely in the negative and I was feeling some type of way, but then I remembered that Bitcoin was supposed to be buying and the market actually pulled back and it bought. So that's essentially the definition of hold don't fold, which is what I posted online because the market does that, especially with Bitcoin. So yeah. Um Essentially when the market is sold like that, I could have got like even more of my feelings, but then I understood that it was an opportunity to essentially buy the dip, which is what traders say. They be like, buy the dip. Don't be afraid to buy the dip. And people is like, what does that even mean? But essentially when it sells, you can get in for lower, and you can get in at lower entry points. And whatnot. So that's essentially why I just kept re-entering buy stops at the same entry points that I already put in the chat is because I've already previously marked those as good areas of support. And I like to buy. That's the type of trader that I am. I definitely will buy. When I'm trading CAD JTY, I will sell more than not. But when it comes to Bitcoin, I'm buying because I know it's supposed to buy. Yes. Chacha has called me a bull trader. Yes, that's definitely who I am. I came to that aha moment and I was just like, it just is what it is. But I'm definitely looking forward to taking more sales with Bitcoin. It's just I can spot the buy opportunities. Um, but yeah, for the most part, I'll talk more about like those entry points when I talk about like my specific strategy. But yeah, let's just continue to move on. So yeah, the best times to trade Bitcoin from what I've seen is 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. and that's eight in the morning to 10 in the morning, or or 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. I've noticed that during those times, Bitcoin is bussing. Like it's bussing. And it's always good to be on the right side of when it's doing that. Cause Bitcoin, it'll buy like 300 plus pips. Like, so being on the side of the bank, right? On the side of those like big blue candles, it's best to be on that side of it. And I noticed that at 8 to 10, whether AM or PM, that's when Bitcoin really moves. Like it's moving like crazy. Sometimes it moves very slow, and I'll say, okay, the market's on turtle time, and I'll get frustrated with Bitcoin because it's not really doing nothing. And it's just consolidating in the same area, moving slow. So that's like, what is that doing? It's not doing anything for anybody. So I'll just go trade something else like CAD JPY. I'll go trade something else or try a different currency that I haven't traded before because it's like Bitcoin's not doing nothing. So another good time to trade is around 2:45 ish, and that's AM or PM because I've definitely traded early in the morning before at all times in the day. So yeah, I noticed that Bitcoin definitely moves at that time too. And I'm not 100% why. This is something I brought up to Chacha, and she's like, "Do you know why?" I'm like, "I don't know why, but I could just tell you that the market moves very quickly. So even if you're someone who didn't want to hold your trades, but you wanted to like scout Bitcoin or something, then you could do it at that time because the market is going to be moving very fast and you're really just trying to get in and out of the market. So you could definitely scout Bitcoin at those times. Um, okay, so another thing too is assets that mirror Bitcoin's market. So this is just through experiential knowledge, just from what's the last time? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, the last time It's it's 8 to 10, either AM or PM, and then also around 2:45 ish. So like 3 o'clock AM or PM. Oh, you're welcome. Okay, so assets that mirror Bitcoin's market. Okay, so this is just through experiential knowledge. So this actually happened, I think it was sometime in March, and Chacha was calling a trade for EYUSD, right? And so I'm thinking when I went to MT4 that I was getting to see EYUSD, and then I went back and looked at it and it said ETHUSD. So I was like, this is not EURUSD. So I had accidentally started trading Ethereum. It wasn't on purpose. It was literally by accident. Because you can trade mad stuff on MT4, but I be trading the same stuff. So that was by accident, really. But anyway, through trading Ethereum, I realized that Bitcoin and Ethereum typically make the same, they make the same movements. Like they literally will do the same exact thing. So it's like if you get into a Bitcoin trade for a buy, then you might as well get into Ethereum for a buy. And Ethereum busts at the same time that Bitcoin does, the 8 to 10 a.m. or p.m. and then the around 2:45 ish 3 p.m. or a.m. So it's like it does the exact same things. Even when I look at the currency strength meter, it literally is like the same levels is buying, and when it's selling too, so it's vice versa. So yeah, something that I do is if I get into a Bitcoin trade, I'm gonna get into the Ethereum trade and I'll make money in both trade in both currency. But yeah, I would definitely say to try that for yourself in the demo account, and then you'll see what I'm talking about. It literally does the same exact thing. The only difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum is Ethereum has a different lot size. The Ethereum lot size is the Forex pair lot size. It's the same exact lot size for Forex pairs. So it's not the 0.01 equals 1 cent. Like when I trade Ethereum, I trade 10 cents per pip or 20 cents per pip, just because it's like I'm 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 getting into more Bitcoin trades, but at the same time I can get into Ethereum trade also, and it'll essentially do the same thing. It's just you gotta set different what's it called it risk parameters. It's not the same because the price is different. So Bitcoin right now I think is at um isn't like what 20 before? Okay, it's like 28,000 right now, and Ethereum I think is like 1,700, something like that. So the price is different. Um, okay, so setting my risk parameters like the TP and the SL. So basically setting those will be a bit different from Forex, but it's only in terms of like how many pips you're expecting. So for Forex, Cha will say 20 pips, okay? Because it's 20 pips guaranteed, right? But see, the thing is for Bitcoin, easily, because of how that market moves, it moves very different. You could easily get 300 pips in less than 5 minutes, easily. And especially if you're trading at the best times to trade Bitcoin, it's like that's the start of Bitcoin either buying 1,000 plus pips or selling 1,000 plus pips. So you can get a lot of pips when you trade a Bitcoin, which is nice. It's very nice. Um, but yeah. Another good thing too is because you're using a low risk, it's like you can essentially get more pips and feel comfortable getting more pips. Because if you only invest 1 cent per pip and the market goes up 300 pips, that's only $3. And that's not bad, but it's like the more that you trade, it's like you're gonna want to get more back for your for your risk. You know what I'm saying? You want to get more return. So yeah, I would just say as you get more comfortable, you can either up your lot size and then lower the TP, or but for me, I'll hold my trades because I know Bitcoin, it buys or sells, but I know it's buying, so I'll hold my trades for days. Um, but yeah, as far as like setting your TP and SL, I would do it the same way that we've essentially been taught to, with trading Forex, which is below the lowest low or above the highest high. But the thing about Bitcoin, I could definitely tell y'all, is that it gets pretty wiki. Okay. It gets pretty wiki. I don't know how else to say that. So, for the most part, if you're trading during those best times to trade Bitcoin and the market is just going up and up and up, don't just think, oh, the market's just going to keep going up. At a certain point in time, just close that order and secure your profits. Don't care about it hitting the TP. Um, oh yes. How do you hold the trade? You just stay in the trade. Exactly. I just stay in the trade. I stay in the trade and I'm holding it because I've set a TP and maybe I'm just waiting for it to hit TP. But sometimes with Bitcoin is gonna sell too, of course, you know. And then so I just hold it because I know it's gonna come back up. Um, but yeah, or sometimes the market moves very slow, so it'll still be buying, but it's just slowly buying, and it's like, especially when it starts consolidating and doing all that. But it is what it is. Um, but yeah, when you are trading Bitcoin, definitely do not forget to set a TP. And for setting your SL, I would just say give yourself some space. Um, some space so you can do that by looking at the different time limits or time limits, right? It's not time limits. The different time frames. I'm tripping. Yeah, by looking at the different time frames. So if you look at it by the day, you could probably look at the previous day and see what the previous low is and set your SL there. But that's if you intend on holding this trade for, a day, or if you want to look, you can look at it for the 4 hour and look at it by that. But for real, if you're going by the, how many pips do I normally enter for my SL? Well, I do have a confession, but I would definitely say for the purpose of this class, I would just probably do, um, especially if you get in at the support areas, I would probably just do like, I would probably give myself at least a hundred pips. That's only $1, especially if you use a 1 cent lot size. So I would probably do that. But that's only if I'm 100% sure that the market is trending up. You know, I'm 100% sure. If I'm not sure and I think that the market could pull back and then sell up, then I might set my stop loss for my previous support level that I've already marked on my chart. So, does that make sense? I want to know it makes sense. And I'm not just okay, good. I'm not just kind of talking, but um okay, so yeah, I feel like okay, that's good. That's good, everybody. Um, but yeah, I would definitely say as a beginner, because I look at myself as being like intermediate, because it's been 2 years. It's people that's been doing this for 8 plus 10 plus years. Okay. 30 plus years. But for the most part, I would say that if you want to trade Bitcoin in your live account, a good amount of money to put into that account would be $100. And $100, I feel like is a nice sweet spot because I put $50 in my account minimum and I've blown that. But when I put $100 in my account, I can take multiple trades and I'll take those trades at like a 1 cent or 2 cent lot size. So I actually did that. The highest trade, of course, I took was at 5 cents, and I made $200 just trading Bitcoin in that week. So it's 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 pretty nice when you ensure that you have enough money to trade Bitcoin, which I think $100 is enough, and then you're also taking low risk. It can definitely pay off over time, especially if you're consistent and disciplined with your trading. But yeah, for the most part, money was made because I know that Bitcoin is buying This is something that they've been telling us for the longest time, that Bitcoin was gonna go to 100K. So I know that Bitcoin is buying. But if it happens to sell, it's natural, and it's also best to just hold it if your account can do so. And something I was even considering for myself was, and this is something y'all can consider too, is actually opening a separate account and you just trade Bitcoin with that one account. Because I pretty much sometimes have had to, um, make sure that I had enough money in my account, because you know how it is with MT4 is like you have that margin that, you know what I'm saying? And if it gets down below a certain, number, it can definitely kick you out of a trade. So I think it might be best, especially if you have to hold Bitcoin, that it be in a whole nother account. Because that definitely sucks. When it's like your margin, let me see what it's called on here. Let me not just say stuff. Give me 1 second. Let me go to my other account. Okay, yeah, your free margin. Like when that goes down, below a certain number, is going to kick you out of the trade. So it's just best to potentially not mix the cryptocurrency with the traditional forex pair. So that's just something that I was thinking about doing. But yeah, so I guess this is a strategy, an idea that I came up with, and I actually have been using it when I'm trading Bitcoin, and it's been working. It's definitely been working. And with this strategy, I just try to get as many pips as possible, especially because I like to buy. I'm a bull trader, as Chacha has said. So with that being said, since I've been trading Bitcoin for almost a year, I've had the opportunity to analyze the market over some time and to mark up my chart. So when I post screenshots of my chart and post it, for example, on Instagram, just talking about this is where the entry point is, and now look at where the market is. And Bitcoin really be out of there, which is amazing. So whenever I post that screenshot, there's like so many lines. Okay. The chart is not naked at all. Okay. The chart is fully dressed and clothed. Okay. So it's multiple lines that I have marked, but those are literally all of the support slash resistance areas that I've been marking since 15K, since 15K. So since Bitcoin was at 15K, now it's at 28K. So it's been a good 13K pips. Okay. So I've literally just been looking at the market and just marking these lines. So for the most part, those lines have become really good entry points because they're good support levels because I'm looking for buys. Now, mind you, the thing about those entry points is that they could also pivot as well. So it could be a good support one day, and then the next day, Bitcoin completely sells, disrespects that support level, and then buys up to that support level, and now it's a resistance. So it could be a good support level, and then it could be a good resistance level as well. So it definitely does pivot like that. But whenever I know that Bitcoin is buying, I'll get in for buy stops because I know that those areas, even though they've been resistance areas, eventually it'll pivot and it'll just be a good support area. So that's why when Bitcoin sells, I'll in the chat, like I sent the picture and was like, okay, put in these pending orders and whatnot, because the market dropped and now it's about to buy again, and it's gonna respect all of those entry points as support levels, which has been doing, which it has been doing, which is great. And especially at the best times to trade Bitcoin, especially at those times, is like that's when the market it'll just shoot up and it'll just keep going up and up and up and up. So it's especially important to set a TP so that you can make sure you secure your profits. I remember one time, well, a lot of the times I'll set my pending orders, you know, put my phone down, go back to it, and then all of my trades have disappeared. And then I'll go over to my history and I'll see that there's a good 6 to 7 trades that have hit TP, and then I'll go look at the chart and it'll be like, 3 long candles. And of course, the last one is going to be so wicky, and it's going to have the market would have sold. So I'm glad that I set my TP so I secured my profits, because if I didn't set a TP, I would be so salty that I missed all of those profits. Literally, I would have been so salty. So yeah, for the most part, when I mark up my chart, I just look at the higher time frames, and then I continue to keep reducing the time frames to find even tighter entry points for Bitcoin. So it's essentially the same thing that we're being taught with Forex. Yeah, I talked about the entry points pivoting. Oh yeah, so since I started using the MOM, that indicator, since I started using that, and then also looking at liquidity in the chart, and then also like filling in the gap, that that has definitely helped with Bitcoin. It definitely has helped me to feel a lot much more secure in where I think the market is going, especially with the fill in the gap. And yeah, the MOM is nice as well, because it's just like an additional extra like indicator that just lets you know that, okay, like momentum is going up when it's pointed up, and then the stochastic is pointed up, and also the MACD is pointed up, is letting me know that it's buying. It's like those are really good additional indicators. um as far as the Bitcoin trade idea right now, the only what I would say, I would just say to set those pending orders again, because the market has sold. So right now it's at 27,962. A previous pending order that I set was at 27,990. So it's like you can mark that, and then also 28,242, and then also 28,487. So if you ever want to get into a trade, I would definitely say to just go back and reference those. Thank you. I would go back and reference those previous entry points that I put up, and then go actually look at the market and see where the market is. And then you can set those pending orders. I mean, with whenever it comes down to market execution with Bitcoin, I typically do market execution at the times that I told y'all what's the best time to trade Bitcoin, because I'll literally just get into a Bitcoin trade really quick. It's immediately in profit, and then I'll just secure my profits at a comfortable place. I'm just scalping the Bitcoin at that point in time. Um, but yeah, so that's typically when I do things like that. But other than that, I'll just put in my pending orders and I'll wait. But it's up to you. But yeah, so pretty much in no particular order, what I do is nothing special. I just do what I've been told to do. So I mark my support and resistance. Chacha actually has a support and resistance video on YouTube that you can definitely check out. So with this entry as a buy stop, to get the TP and SL, we will look at the last highest high and the last lowest low. Yeah, you could do that. You could do that. But Bitcoin is really wicky. So I won't necessarily always set it lower. I'll just set it like where the because you know how it is with those candles. It's like there's there's the candle, and then there's the wick. So I'll sometimes set it at the candle just to make sure that I at least know that I secured my profits, because Bitcoin likes to buy really fast and then just turn around and sell really fast. So you kind of don't want to, sometimes you don't want to wait for it to hit TP. I'm just being honest, because once Cha told me this happened to me. Okay. And it happened to me this week, where it's just like, oh, you think the trade gonna hit TP, just for it to go one pip away from TP and turn around and go in the other direction. So if you ever happen to be in your app and you're, oh look, if y'all would have got in at 27,990, y'all would have been in profit right now, which is really nice. I didn't get in. Like I should have, but it's okay. But yeah, so for the most part, yeah, sometimes you don't want to wait till it hits TP. Like, but another thing about where I set my TPs for is I'll set it at the next entry point. So for example, I just told y'all to get in at 27,990, right? If you would have got in, you would have been in profit right now. My next TP, the TP for that trade, if I would have got in, would have been at the next entry point that I listed, which was 28,242. That's where I would put in my TP for. So how I'm getting the maximum pips, especially if Bitcoin decides that it wants to start buying crazy, is I set my TP for the next entry point, and especially if that's a pending order buy stop. So not only am I securing my profits from that previous trade, but it's automatically entering me into this trade. And like I said, Bitcoin, I've seen it buy just as easy as it could sell 2,000 pips in like 4 hours is how fast it could buy 2,000 pips in 4 hours. So when I go back into my app and I see that 6 to 7 trades have hit TP, those are literally all the trades that I've marked those entry points for. And Bitcoin just kept buying and buying and buying and buying. So it kept, taking me out of trades because I hit TP and then automatically entering me into trades. And then those trades were hitting TP. And it literally just kept doing that all the way up to, you know, where it just was before it sold during the weekend. So that's essentially how I get, the maximum pips. That's how in the chat I'll say, okay, all 6 trades have hit TP because more than likely, those trades have hit all of those entry points from where I put the buy stops for. So I'll scout Bitcoin even as it's, going up too. Like even as it's going up, especially if I'm like actively trading, not only do I have the pending orders that are going up, but I have trades that I'm getting in market execution also. And then it's going up. So I do that also. But yeah, so definitely market support and resistance. Make sure to check FinViz. FinViz is the website that I use. Um, should I show FinViz? Should I share my screen? Let me know if I should so y'all can see FinViz. Yes, please. All right. Oh, I need permission to share my screen when you can get to it. Chacha. I don't know if I could change. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. This is FinViz right here. Let me bring up the chat just so I can see that y'all can see. Can everyone see FinViz? Okay. All right, cool. All right, so this is FinViz. This is the website that I keep up on my phone because I trade. Is it okay? Can you show an example of how you will make up the charts and take your trade? Sure. I think I could do that. Yeah. Yeah, I think I can do that. I think I'm gonna have to log into this on my phone so I can share that screen too. But yeah, so for the most part, or I can even direct y'all through it. Just let me know. There's a lot of screen sharing. Okay, yeah. Finviz.com. That's it. But yeah, for the most part, I keep this page up on my phone in Google Chrome, just so I'm always just taking note of what the strength is, the currency strength for Bitcoin. And when I mentioned, if you look down here, this is just another representation of what you see right here. So when you look at Bitcoin, you can see that it is selling because it's a dark maroon. It's a dark maroon color. But the thing to know too is that the darker the color, the lower the strength. The darker the color, it's like the lower the currency strength is, if that makes sense. So, for example, when you look at XRP and BTC right here, it's like it's a lighter green color. That means that it's buying, and that the currency strength is at a moderate amount. Then you can actually scroll down and see here at XRP, and then you can see it's green. That means it's buying, and 1.43%. I guess that's how they measure the strength of that particular currency. So you can see that, okay, it's moderately strong. It's moderately strong. Um, but yeah, so as you can see down here with Bitcoin and Ethereum, you can see that they're actually around the same level when it comes to strength. And remember, like I told you, Bitcoin and Ethereum typically make the same movements. So as you can see here, the strength is actually pretty similar. So, for example, once Bitcoin starts to buy and it turns green, Ethereum 9 times out of 10 would also be green and at the same around the same level also when it comes to the strength of that particular currency. So yeah, this is the web page that I keep up on my phone. Because even, for example, if I'm expecting Bitcoin to buy, of course, and it's buying, and let's say like it's just making these like monumental movements, in the market, I can go back to Finviz and look at it and be like, oh wow, like Bitcoin is light green, because it'll be really light, bright green, letting you know that, okay, the market is really buying right now. And then you come down here and you look at the strength of the currency and it's at like 5.46% or something, then like, no, I need to 100% be getting in for buys right now and whatnot. So yeah. Does everybody understand Finviz? I keep this up on my phone. I primarily trade on my phone, as opposed to trading on my laptop like I used to. All right. All right. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So, um, let me know, does everybody want to go to MT4 now, or should I just try to share my screen? Or y'all want to do this together? I'm going to, if you give me 1 second, I'm just going to try to go into Zoom. I'll put my phone. Oh, you said Bitcoin's not letting you enter? Oh, it could be, okay, it could be, I don't know why it wouldn't be, because the market is definitely open right now. I'm not sure. You should probably try again, because I can't say that I haven't, experienced some glitchy issues with MT4 before. Okay, I've definitely experienced some glitching. Dang, y'all. If you got in at 27,990, that John took off. It took off. I didn't get in. It took off. All right, let me unshare this screen. Let me stop sharing. Am I good with time, Cha Cha? Is it okay? Because I feel like I'm talking a lot. So let me know if it's okay. I'm good. Okay. So now I'm trying to share my screen on my phone. Okay, cool. All right, cool. So, I'm gonna go to MT4 and this momentum indicator that's at the bottom, during one of the previous classes that we had, I know Cha said that it has to be, I think it has to be the zero line, and then it's like that's where you tell if it's buying or selling. But for MT4, she specifically was like, just put a line here and make it 100. So this indicator right here has definitely um it's been very helpful. It's been very helpful. It's definitely changed my trading results. So I'm happy with that. Um, hope this doesn't look too confusing, but like I said, this chart is well dressed. Okay, well dressed in clothes. I also use this MACD. Um, it kind of just tells me the same thing, honestly, as the momentum one, but I don't know. It's something about the momentum one that's really it does it for me. But yeah, I also look at the stochastic as well. It's good to look at that because it tells you when prices overbought or oversold. And 9 times out of 10, when prices overbought, you know it's gonna turn around and sell. Um, and I also can tell when it's overbought or oversold because of the Bollinger Bands. And this is something that one of the first concepts that I learned is that 90% of price action takes place inside of the Bollinger Bands. Um, there's an absence of candles right here, but that's only because when the market previously closed, it closed up here, and when the market opened, it opened down here, so that's why there's no candles here. But um okay, so for the most part, yeah, these green lines that I have here are those entry points that I put in the chat. Those are entry points that I have marked based on support and resistance, which even though that's a very beginner thing to learn, like that idea of support and resistance and actually like marking it, and then when your entry point is like exact, it's amazing. So it's a beginner thing to learn, but it still is very helpful, especially with trading Bitcoin. So yeah. So essentially how I get into trades is well, this is the minute. So let's go to, well, I'll look at the day first. Sorry, y'all. This looks mad. I know it looks a lot, but it's okay. Okay. So I'll look at the day. I'll look at the day and I'll mark, areas of support and resistance, right? Then I'll go to the 4 hour. I'll do the same thing. Those trades up there are pending orders and TPs. Okay. Because the market, I know, is going to want to buy and it's going to want to surpass that highest high. Okay, that highest high. It's going to want to surpass that. So I'm prepared in advance. I'm prepared in advance. So I just keep going. I just keep going, into smaller and smaller time frames, and I find areas in the market where it's areas of support. Typically those areas of support eventually become areas of resistance. So just because I know my chart, I'll keep all the colors the same. But if you wanted to change the colors for yours, like mark the areas of support blue and the areas of resistance red, you can do that for you. But for me, because I know my chart, is all that same color. And as you can see, all of the lines that I have marked here are all of the entry points that I put into the chat. They're all of the entry points that I put into the chat. So for the most part, um, these are all valid. And if you wanted to get in for sales and you knew that the market was selling, you could essentially, instead of doing buy stops, those could also be sell stops. But that just depends on if you are looking for sales, or if, you know what I'm saying, or if it's like you want to be a dynamic trader. That's on you. Okay. I hope to be like you when I grow up. But for now, I just be focusing on buys. So that's what I'll do. Um, if someone was not in the chat and they were knowledgeable, then they could also have been benefiting off of these trades that I've been posting just from posting my chart on Instagram. But because they're not in the chat though, they don't even understand the strategy of getting as many pips as possible. Um, yeah, they won't understand that. So that's that. But okay, so let me go to the 15-minute because I like looking at the 15-minute too. Because I feel like that's a good enough time frame to like really see like the bigger trends in the market. Because as you know, overall Bitcoin could be buying, but that does not mean that it's not going to be selling. And as you can see over the weekend, it sold. But because I'm comfortable with holding this trade and I know that Bitcoin really wants to break 30K, I'm going to be okay with those higher entry points and the pending orders not triggering because I know that it will. I just have to be patient. And that's why they say patience pays. But yeah, for the most part, as far as getting into your trades, you can get in at the 15-minute. Um, you want to get in at the beginning of the candle. The same thing with HFX is like it don't make sense to get in while a candle is already doing its thing. You know what I'm saying? So I would definitely say, um, if you're gonna hold this trade, I would definitely get in at the 15 minutes. So it's 7:07. The next time that you could get in for a trade market execution and not a pending order you could get into at any time. But for market execution, I would wait till 7:15 and get in for um get in for a trade. But yeah. Um does anybody have any questions? Anybody have any questions that I can answer? I don't want to just be random. If you don't have any questions, you could just tell me no also, just so I know. No, very informative. Okay, that's good. That's good. Good, thanks. Okay. All right, so just to reiterate this, um, I'm sorry. Chanel asked me a question that was literally on my mind all weekend. If this is not telekinesis, I don't know what it is. But for the most part, yeah, so y'all see how it seems like Bitcoin is buying again. It's a little shady though because of where that last candle opened up, it showed that okay, the market it seemed like it was oversold. Yeah, so typically when it's oversold, it'll buy back, but sometimes it'll just buy back just to get back into the Bollinger Bands, just to turn around and sell again. Um, it really will do that. I only know that it's for sure buying once it crosses over those EMAs, which is the strategy that Chacha has taught us as one of the indicators to look for a buy. Also, as far as with this momentum line, still under the momentum line, the blue line still under that purple 100 line, it looks like, okay, it could be selling. And then especially with the MACD as well, it's showing that it could be selling. But the good thing about when the MACD is where it's at and you're trying to get in for a buy is like, you know that eventually it's just going to cross back up and buy. So when you buy in the dip, it's good to get the lowest possible and the lowest possible entry point that you can get. Okay, because sometimes I thought I got the lowest possible entry point, but then it went even lower. But it's okay because it didn't go that far, and I had a low lot size for risk, so it ended up, going back in my favor. But yeah, um, I know for sure that it's gonna continue to buy, especially when it crosses over those EMAs. But yeah, um, I think that's all I have, and I hope that I was informative. Um, I definitely hope I was. Y'all said I was, so that's good. I think I'm gonna go ahead and be done and hand this back over to Cha Cha.
Okay, that was amazing. That was really amazing. If you guys thought that was a good training, right, and you learned something, just please go find this emoji. Just find this emoji and drop it in the Telegram chat and say go spicy, go spicy, go spicy, because she did so amazing. I'll be the first person to tell y'all I am not the best trader. I'm just persistent and I have a very strong desire to get rich. And I also, when I be trading Bitcoin, I don't be trading Bitcoin. That's the thing. So the same way that I have taught and inspired Spicy to trade Forex and HFX, she definitely has inspired me to trade cryptocurrency because it's not my strong suit. It's just really not. But when she drops trade ideas in the chat, I'm always ready to put it in because I trust it. She's a great trader. So I'm happy that you guys were able to learn from her today. Because you probably get tired of me talking. I know I get tired of me talking, you know? So it was just nice to have a different perspective. You guys can see that it's really not just me that's benefiting off of these trade ideas. Like last week, we had a really good trading week in the chat. And every single person contributed it. Whether you sent me a trade idea to my phone or on Telegram or you posted it in the chat, everybody did really well. And I'm super proud of the progress that we are making. So I ain't going to keep you off for too much longer. But the last thing I'm going to say is, let me stop recording.